colloquial. Bonus points for the word. Okay, go ahead, Michael.
Hello, my name is Michael Albanese, as seen below. So, my topic.
You can tell this is informal. Thanks.
Yes, it's very important. It's conversation. My topic is interesting because I chose it because I'm at the center of everything regarding my topic. I live in Singapore and have access to many various sources that I can easily use. I've always had a passion for history and politics, and I wanted to apply this to my AP research class, and that's why I chose the Merlion domestication, what Singapore and the West claim from each other. So Singapore lies at the center of the Pacific Rim, and it has experienced over the past couple of decades extreme economic prosperity, political prowess, and low crime rates. But at the same time, it has this completely strict rule of law, which is not seen in the West. And that kind of sparked my interest in this topic. And the Little India riots seen last year, and the ABC imprisonments and the alcohol curfew, those are all interconnected. Obviously, both alcohol curfew and the Little India riots, as one was a result of the other. But those all gathered my interest because I wanted to see how I can connect them and trying to create a hypothesis based on the data I will intend to gather. And Singapore is one of the leading countries in ASEAN, the allied countries within Southeast Asia. And every year there's a meeting held here annually. And I wanted to try and find, this isn't my question specifically, but this paper, my main interest behind this paper is I wanted to try and find the ultimate form of governing, where you can have a liberal rule of law while still maintaining low crime rates and achieving economic prosperity and political prowess. Because as of now, no country has ever achieved that. And my research question exactly is, to what extent would Singapore benefit if we were to alter its way of governing that would better accommodate its working class and abandon the traditional pragmatic method of ruling established under Lee Kuan Yew? Because as we've seen, that same pragmatic and traditional rule of law has enforced strict censorship. Not everyone is getting the same freedom as everyone else. And like ABC, his own imprisonment is a perfect example of that, as with the Little India riots. And my method is, the bulk of my method, I intend to gather from interviews, and I interviewed probably a dozen NUS professors, indices, lawyer, and other associates, and only the ones that did respond couldn't do it, and the one that did respond and can do it, the date that would only work for them does not work for me. So Miss Bacon gave me this research method based on this other research paper, and I've kind of just ended that entire process. And the bulk of the data comes from a single focus group, and that will happen over Chinese New Year. So as of now, I don't have any evidence, but this is what I tend to gather. The questions that's here will be formed on a graph. They'll start vague, and depending on what they say, the questions, the examples are next, but depending on what they say, the question will go down. They will need to give specific evidence regarding their reasoning for that. And the subjects we interview will be primarily Chinese, but we still have a variety of age and gender to see how the views of government change from generation to generation and male to female. And this emulates the research process of Teresa Martin and Li Qing, Li Qing Ho's paper, the one I just mentioned that Ms. Bacon gave me. So where do they fit in teachers' perspective on multicultural education and diversity in Singapore? That's the one that they coordinated with NEU, National Education University. And this is just an example of a few questions I'll ask. They'll start vague and they'll give more reasoning for it. Like, do you think the verdict of a misuse trial was just? Why or not? Give specific examples. In your opinion, have the views of the Singapore government changed from generation to generation? Do you believe that Singaporeans have proper representation? And do you think the curfew ban was warranted in Little India? And these questions are intended to be vague because after I met with my mentor, Mr. Capel, he told me that it would probably be best if I start off vague and then just go deeper and deeper and more in depth on details as to why they chose that answer. And the significance is because throughout history, as I said, no country has yet to achieve that perfect government, and everyone is constantly searching for it. Like Machiavelli, The Prince, Rousseau, Social Contract, Hobbes, Leviathan, and Kissinger with the World Order. They've always been searching for this, and it has not yet been found. I don't hope to find it myself, but I hope to come close to to spark some ideas. And I'm trying to, the ultimate form of government that maintains the 3 prongs: low crime rates, economic prosperity, and political prowess, while still having a liberal rule of law. The power is in the hands of the people and only the people. That is why this paper is significant. Thank you.
So let me ask you, get to the crux of this. Your survey or it's a focus group more than anything else. You're having this over Chinese New Year. You had a question about generation to generation. Do you think something to that effect, right?
Yeah. But
do you have younger people on in that focus group that wouldn't be able to answer that question?
Yeah, we actually do. Because actually the person I'm working with, Nicole Cook, it's her family. They're Singaporeans, Chinese descent, and we were hoping to get at least 20, but maybe 20 to 30. And she said, according to her, and actually I've seen evidence, they're varied of gender and varied age groups, so that'll definitely work.
And do you have these people confirmed? You said 20 to 30, or not yet?
It's confirmed that, well, they're all going to be there for our Chinese New Year anyways, and most of them have confirmed already, but not all 20 yet.
Okay. Other questions?
I was just going to ask, like, how do you define political prowess?
Well, as I mentioned, Singapore is like one of the leading countries of Asia, the political supranational organization in Southeast Asia, which includes like Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, all those regions. And every year the meeting is held here, right, at the Shangri-La Hotel, and just across the street from my apartment. And it's very fascinating to see that. And like Lee Hsien Loong is one of the highest paid political leaders around the world, and they've continuously at the center, the geographic location specifically at the center of the Pacific Rim gives them that advantage over other countries that we don't have. And it's one of the tiger nations as well.
Well, I guess the question though is she's asking, how are you defining it? Not explaining why they are. But
that's I use evidence from. Sorry, I use evidence from political indexes like I source tiger nations, the index that they base their ratings on, like economic prosperity, GDP per capita, and stuff like that.
Okay, go ahead.
You said that Singapore already has really low crime rates and it's actually the second safest city in the world, and even that it already has a lot of impact on women and stuff. So I just want to clarify, like, are you trying to see whether there's a method that could make it even better, or that you think that the system is bad?
No, I'm trying to see if there's a way where they can still maintain at low crime rates while altering their governing to pursue a more liberal rule of law.
But do you think that if you interview like local people and stuff, for example, I mean, a lot of them are Singaporeans that lived here for their entire lives, and I know that a lot of people are willing to give up something small in order to have a really safe environment, in order to have the economic prosperity. So do you think that that might impact your answers a lot because there's so much bias towards the country that they already have?
Oh, it completely will. But we'll also have meta-analysis, which will hopefully cancel out that bias per se, because that will be basically data-driven, so there'll be facts behind the meta-analysis. Whereas obviously there's bias in the focus groups themselves, so we'll have to acknowledge that in the paper.